Alright, well, welcome back to part 5, I think. So I went ahead and I replaced the cans. Excuse me. The 3-part can that was here. Here. I ended up using the terminal strip for these two, and then I put another terminal strip over here with this one. And also I had to replace the 18K 2-watt resistor, and I replaced it with a 18K 3-watt resistor. And of course the big 0.1 cap was replaced with one of these Panasonic film caps. I keep calling them chiclets because that's what they look like. 0.01 was replaced here, or 0.018 was replaced with a 0.02. Also, again, I came across another 2-watt resistor, the 100K, that was reading at 135. And I did not have... It was a 2-watt, I'm sorry, a 2-watt resistor. I did not have a 2-watt 100K, but I had a couple of 2-watt 2-watt 55K, and I put those together, so it's 109, so it's better than 130, whatever. 100K here that was reading at 140. I did have that. So again, every 2-watt resistor I've come across in here has been bad. The small resistor here, well, not small, but the what is it? 4100 here is reading okay. The big giant 4-section cap here I replaced with the terminal strip, and I've got 3 of them here. The 150 is here, the 20 is here, or 22. This is the 100, and this one here is the 10. I ended up putting the 10 down here. Again, the problem I had was with wires didn't want to fit. I'm not all that super proud of how clean or not clean this looks, but I still ended up having to splice a wire in because again, I just did not want to. I don't have very much cloth covered wire left, and I just don't want to make yet another order for this stupid TV. Anyway, so all of these have been replaced, so I'm ready to go ahead and flip this around and actually work on the board now. Yeah, so I tested this 7500, and this one is the 1500, so these are still in tolerance here. These are part of the, there's the 3 main voltages. I'm just guessing 265, and then there's like, well, anyway, there's 3 voltage drops that happen. One's here, and one's here. These seem to be okay. Alright. So, also I've been cleaning up the nicotine off of this thing. Boy, that stuff is hard to get off, let me tell you. I've been using alcohol. That seems to work, but again, it just doesn't want to come off. And I'm carefully cleaning up the plastic here. These guys don't want to... I have to be careful because this paint wants to come off, so I've been using a Q-tip and some alcohol, and I think I pretty much got it. I got to figure out how to clean the insides of these because it's, you know, filthy inside there, and it looks like it's a big pain in the tuchus to get this, get these pulled out of there. So I guess I'll figure something out. I cleaned the dried up grease off of the off the grease points on the tuner, and I put a little bit of PTFE grease in there. It doesn't really seem to be working any better or worse, but I did want to get that dried goop out of there. Again, it looked like earwax. So I guess you can see over here, I'll do something with this because Mr. Tape worked on this set at some point, and I don't like Mr. Tape. So, anywho, another thing that I decided to do was I'm going to, I know the service instructions said that if you pull these off, pry these off, they want you to solder back on, but I'm not going to do it. I'll go ahead and push these back on. The ones that I either had to unwind or that broke or that were already soldered on, I'm going to go ahead and put some Molex connectors on there because they fit right over these the points there, and that's what I bought the 4-to-1 shrink wrap for. And that I posted a little video earlier because the connectors and oh, I had to order another one of these 150 microfarad caps because when I decided to repurpose this clamp and bend it, I was trying to get this against the side over here, but there's these two bumps in the back. And coincidentally, those bumps also ran into a problem with this cap, which is bad, I should say, and that's the main filter cap. And it dented the can in here, and I dented the can for the original 150, and I'll grab that and show you if I have it super handy. Yeah, there it is. This dent, if you can see it, hard for me to say. I don't know if you can see it. It looks fairly slight, but it was enough to change the value on this, and so I'm assuming that would severely shorten the life of it. Waste of $5 there. Anyway, so this is set in there. It moves around a little bit, but between the wires, you know, it's not going anywhere, and it's not like this thing is going to be portable. Anyway, everything else is in there good, so should be good to go. One of the things I noticed is that although other areas, the screws it uses for negative is just fine, however this one I noticed was actually soldered. This wire here was on the original can to a grounding point here, and at first I thought it was because this is the ground for the you know, that big square thing, the picture tube. But when I went over to do this one, I noticed they had done the same thing with the large can, and just interesting that they're in most places they rely on just using the screw as ground, but in this instance on these filter caps they went double. They did a double measure and grounded it to the grounding strip on these strips, and anyway, okay, that was really hard to say. I don't know why. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, flip this around and start working on the board. Although I guess I don't have to flip around to work on the board, but anyway, I'll give you guys an update and I'll be right back. Hello again, welcome back. So it's the next day. I've been working on this all evening actually, and well, pretty much everything has almost been replaced now that I look at it. I was just in the middle of replacing the .0039. The only remaining resistors on here that are original would be this one, actually I guess that's it. Just two left. Nope, this one. Three left. The capacitors I took out of here, the film ones, these were all leaky. At least according to my Sencor, they were leaky. Interestingly, the .0015, which is supposed to be rated at 1,000, I put a 1.6 kilovolt in there. They had a 630. It didn't look on the schematic like this gets that much voltage, but it was leaky as hell. And it was way off, so just looking real quick, I don't know if there's a voltage on there, on that particular one. Didn't seem like anywhere on this board got more than 600 volts, but whatever. That's what it called for, so another thing I have to do is I still need to tackle this couplet. This one had been replaced already, so I doubt very highly that Philco did a really poor job tacking a new one on top of an old one at the factory, although I guess you never know. It does not actually have a Philco part number. In fact, it looks like it's one of the replacement part numbers called for. No, it's not actually. So that would be K. I'm ill prepared again. That would be K3. It'd be kind of interesting to know what the values are on that one. It's the vertical integrator. 60308. Oh, 603. It is a Philco part, but it... See if I can bring it up here. I mean, unless I'm mistaken. Come on, you can focus. That definitely looks tacked in. Of course, it could have been a warranty repair as well. Where are we here? Sorry, that's upside down. Anyway, yeah, like I said, it is a Philco part number, but it definitely is very messily tacked in. So, anyway, let's see if oh, it did focus alright. So the only interesting thing was this here, the .0039 is rated at 100 volts, and when I look at the schematic where the .0039 is, it's on the other side of the coarse, it's part of this coarse horizontal adjustment, or horizontal centering, and it, I think that's it. Anyway, it shows that one end of that has 265 volts, but the one that was in there was only rated for 100. Now this was not leaky, and it was good. And that is the part number called for. I just thought it was interesting on the schematic that it shows 265 volt on a with a cap that's got a 100 volt rating on it. So we'll go ahead and check that. Also, the horizontal AFC, unless I'm measuring it incorrectly, is bad. I do have replacements for it, and I'm sure somebody can pipe up really quick, but if I did do this wrong. But these both point towards the center, so my assumption was that I should get a reading from both 1 to 3. Oops. Probably be helpful if I put it on diode. From 1 to 3, I'm assuming I should get a reading along with 3 to from 3 to 2 and from 1 to 2, but the only place at all I get any reading is from 3 to 2. And in the schematic they point together. I'll put that out here. So, let's see here. So unless I'm measuring that wrong, I guess I posted up on to see if I was measuring it wrong, and all I got back was a whole bunch of information from people telling me to replace it instead of answering my question. So I guess I figured what I'd do is I'd tack the 2 new ones together and see if that gives me anything. I was going to replace it anyway because I understand that these are generally bad. And anyway, so I do have, let's see, it was recommended by several people to replace it with a 1N914, and I do have some of those, and I also have a couple of Schottky diodes, and I have a couple of regular diodes. Somebody said that they use those successfully, so I thought I might try all 3, since it's an easy thing to pull in and put out once the board's in. So one thing about the couplet that I forgot, I don't know, it must have been late at night. I ordered the parts for it. Somehow or another I didn't manage to order a 470 picofarad ceramic cap, but I have a 500 mica, and I may throw that in there. Anyway, so I'm going to put that other component in and I'll do this. I probably won't be able to get to another video until Monday because I'm busy all weekend. So I'm hoping to wrap up at least this one last component tonight, and I do kind of want to put it back together and see how it works before I tackle this, but it's kind of a pain to put this board in and out, so I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to wrap this up and then I'll upload it because it's already gotten to be a pretty long video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next installment.